afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you all to iVentures Capital. So as we all are aware that we are on a secular strong bull run after so long, 2020 and post 2020, the valuations are getting richer each passing day and Sensex soaring to 60,000. So we have never seen, in my personal life, I have never seen such a linear journey of Nifty. I think last Diwali it was 12,500. Today we are sitting on 18,000 approximately, up by 52% in 1 year alone. So again, Pareto's principle proved us right, that 80-20 principle works. So thank you again, once again, with our guest, eminent guest, Mr. Nilesh Shah. So although Nilesh ji is a brand himself, he doesn't need any introduction, but it will be an honor to introduce him again. The market veteran over last 25 years of experience in capital markets, and has managed fund across equity, fixed income, real estate for local and global investors. He has in past held leadership roles with Axis Capital, ICICI Prudential Asset Management, Franklin Templeton, and ICICI Securities. Nilesh ji is a gold medalist chartered accountant and a merit ranking cost accountant. And the matter of pride is, in the recent constituted new economic advisory council to the Prime Minister, our esteemed speaker, Mr. Nilesh Shah, is appointed as a member of council. It's a matter of honor. So Nilesh ji is a master storyteller and an opinion maker who draws his management lessons from his early readings of the Ramayana and Mahabharata, which we'll listen today. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Nilesh Shah to share his words of wisdom. Nilesh sir, thank you for joining us. So, just again, one question, very important. Charles Owen, if you remember, sir, former chairman and CEO of Citibank, once said, as long as music is playing, you have got to get up and dance. And in the sense of equity, I'm saying, I would only suggest the dance near the door. So, you know what I'm saying, economic cycles has always been what subject with us, keeping in mind the present state of economy. And if you see Nifty 500, BSE 500 stocks, most of these stocks are, at the P of 150. So P is really losing its relevance. So what do you see, sir? We are on early recovery sign, or we are on the late upswing. So what is your thought, and what derives the conviction at 18,000? Most of the HNIs are worried because I keep listening to everything, 18,000, no one wants to invest. So what is your thought process which derives conviction of 4-5 points, Nilesh sir?
So one, when there is music, you should dance. But people who advise that you should dance near the door and when music stops, you should get out, generally are not able to do that. Most of them get sucked into the music and they forget where the door is. Now, maybe 2 out of 100 will be able to get out of the door, but 98 out of 100 is generally stuck in the party.
Yes.
And which is where you have to follow a disciplined approach. Making money is not an easy thing, otherwise all of us would have become billionaire. It's a very, very serious thing. And instead of dancing when the music is on, you should be playing, you should be going to a party where music will permanently play. Sometimes it will be loud, sometimes it will be soft, but there will be continuous play of music. This is achieved through asset allocation. I am in equity, I am in debt, I am in real estate, I am in commodities, I am in offshore. Your music will continue to play in one of this asset class, and there I should be overweight. Music might stop in some asset class, there I should be underweight. With this kind of disciplined asset allocation, you will be able to generate return which outperforms inflation. And that is more than sufficient.
But most important is, I am talking about only equity investors who love to be in equities only. Asset allocation plays a very important role, I understand. But, the risk reward ratio, if 18,000, if somebody asks me, it's very difficult to answer, although 15,000, the story was same. But I have never seen, sir, you might have, that Nifty so linear without any correction of even 5-10% in the last 6 months. So
people who want to be in equity all the time, they are like saying that I want to play cricket, but I will be either batsman or bowler or fielder. Now, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli are greatest batsmen. Did it mean that they stopped fielding, or did it mean that they stopped bowling? In fact, Tendulkar, was even bowling. So,
Right.
when you say I want to be equity investor, you need to be like Donald Bradman. Your average should be 100 plus, so that whether you bowl or field doesn't matter. But how many of us are Donald Bradman? How many of us have the appetite to take the volatility? Then anyone who didn't bought equity in March 2020 crash, he is not authorized to say that I want to be 100% in equity.
Yes, you're right.
पीछे जब 100% रिटर्न दिखता है तब सब किसी को 100% इक्विटी में लगाने का मन होता है, बट जब पीछे ब्लड दिखता है -50% रिटर्न होता है, तब अगर आप 100% इक्विटी में पैसा लगा सकते हो, then only you are authorized to speak like this. Most of us are mortal human beings. We don't have that kind of appetite to invest in full risk assets. Very few people will have that kind of risk appetite, and hence we always recommend asset allocation.
Right, sir. Right. But so to see the same question, I'll continue in a different way. So in a paradoxical state, we all are noticing commodity prices never seen. My family, I've seen, last 10 years, they have not minted so much of money in steel, which they have done in the last 1 year. So all the commodity, including crude, sir, I have been listening to a lot of fund managers saying crude over $100 is a worrisome for markets. So I'm just understanding, at the same time, market touching highs, but commodity prices, crude $85, the repo rate, in the last 1 year, RBI has reduced repo rate by 100 basis points, but at the same time, all these liquidity flows has come into the market in the last 2 years. And GSEC, 10-year GSEC is again the last week's touching highs. So do you think, party will be, central bank, is throwing this party across US and India, is going to over soon as interest rate will inch up, inflation will inch up. So any kind of worry sign where risk reward ratio is not favorable, 18,000 if I'll put more money. So in next Diwali, what do you say, sir? This Diwali in the last 1 year, definitely a lot of investors have not made money. Very few has remained invested has made money. So in last 1 year, a lot of millennials has joined in the stock market. So that's why I'm asking you, what do you think? There is a disconnect between market and real economy because crude, inflation, all these things.
So, see, anyone who believes that there is a disconnect between market and real economy, then can they give incidences where markets is independent of fundamentals forever? Markets can be driven by money power for a while. We did say that in 2000 telecom media technology bubble, 2008 infrastructure build up.
Yeah.
But over longer term, it is just fundamentals will play. So it is up to us to invest in stocks where we believe fundamentals are in line with the market. If we invest in quality companies and give time, you will always make money. Now, if people are investing in this Diwali for up to next Diwali horizon, they should not be investing in equity. If you are investing with 5-year plus horizon, it's time to invest in equity. If you want to invest with 1-year horizon, please invest in debt. You are not fit for investment in equity. So again, people say I want to put 100% in equity, but मेरे को ये बताइए next 1 साल में क्या होगा? भैया आपके पास risk appetite नहीं है, आप इक्विटी में निवेश ही मत करिए 1 साल से.
So what are the triggers, sir? As risk is invisible to most investors, but I'm just understanding, although ठीक है, 3-4 years. So if I have to allocate, where the strong alpha is, like infrastructure, you said, sir. Disappointment was there in 2010, if you remember. Most of the investment community were aggressively bullish on infrastructure stocks, but disappointed. But now things have changed after reforms and CLT, and a lot of entrepreneurs and promoters are taking the company seriously now. It's not easy to shift enough money from one company to another, So do you think infrastructure has just started because very few companies are there in infrastructure space in India with such a big economy? So do you think infrastructure can be a multi-bagger idea, and what are the pointers you think which can play very well, because these are heavy capex industry?
So again, you have to buy good businesses run by good managers at good prices.
Yeah.
बोलने में एकदम simple है, execute करने में जान निकल जाती है.
सही.
Now, what are good businesses? Businesses where return on equity is more than the cost of capital.
Right.
If you earn 8% and you have to pay 12%, you cannot survive for long. If you are earning 12% and you have to pay only 8% interest, your prosperity is guaranteed. Second, it has to be run by good managers. Managers who are not appearing on page 3 partying, but who are working in the offices. Managers who have vision and execution commitment. And managers who will not cheat you. Now today, I see so many penny stocks running away. इनका आज नहीं तो कल बेड़ा गर्क होना ही है. Because the promoters have never bothered about minority shareholders. The third thing is good prices. What is good prices? A good price is a price at which there is some margin of safety. Now in March 20, you had a lot of margin of safety because entire market was cheap. In October 21, markets are not cheap. And hence I need longer term horizon to invest. In March 20, I could have invested with 1 year, 2 year horizon also because market was very, very cheap. Now that was the betting pitch where you could have easily scored run. Now it's a bowling pitch. यहाँ पे आप aggressive नहीं खेल सकते. यहाँ पे you have to be playing defensive. So buy good companies, run by good managers, available at good prices. Not because someone is saying that this stock is going to go up and hence invest. Now let's look at infrastructure sector.
There are a lot of companies available, sir, currently at good prices according to you, sir. Just your opinion. Today is 18,000 good prices, good stocks available at good prices.
So there is a red zone in the market where we think money will not be made over longer term. Where is the red zone? एक मैंने बताया penny stocks. बहुत सारे कचरा स्टॉक्स भाग गए. कोई 2000% भागा है, कोई 4000% भागा है, कोई 500% भागा है. But there is no business, there is no good management there. ये खाली greater fool theory पे भाग रहे हैं कि आज मैं खरीद रहा हूँ, कल मेरे से ज्यादा भाव में कोई ना कोई खरीद जाएगा. These are social media influence stocks where some punters moves the message that this stock will run up, please buy. Everyone jumps in, stock goes up, and this circle continues to run. One day this will fall. The second one is where businesses are good, but the holding is concentrated in few hands, and hence valuations have gone up very, very high. 50 times, 100 times, 150 times. Now, at these prices, even though businesses are good, you may not make enough money. People are looking at past performance and investing, hoping that future will be as good as that. But at that valuation, you are not going to get that kind of return. Now, other than this, the entire market is actually a green zone. Yes, there are corrections expected based on the current momentum. But this correction is a great opportunity to buy good companies, quality companies, and invest with a longer term horizon. Now, Nirmal bhai, would anyone have predicted that 7,500 was the bottom of market in 2020?
No, that's not
Answer
possible.
is clearly no.
That's not possible.
Would I have been able to predict in February 20, March 20, that instead of buying Nifty at 10,000, please avoid and buy Nifty at 7,500? Answer is no. At March 20, when we gave an overweight call to equity, could we have predicted 18,000 Nifty in October 21? Answer is no. All we can do is that when markets are becoming cheaper, we can say that this is a cheap market and hence become overweight. All we can say when markets become expensive, that this is expensive market, become underweight. And when markets are in fair value, we say this is fair value market, remain neutral weight. The top and bottom of the market can never be captured by anyone. We'll have to understand this human limitation. And which is why asset allocation plays a role, which is why long-term investment plays a role. In fact, I'll give you a very small example. If you look at HDFC Bank, it is one of the largest private sector bank in India. So many people are their customer. And if you see their average price movement in a year, it's roughly 30, 35, 40%. Now, technically, someone could always buy HDFC Bank at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, and over 25, 30 years would have made a lot of money. But in real life, how many people we see like that? Zero.
Yeah.
Now, there are so many investors who have bought HDFC Bank share in the IPO and stayed invested and made 30% compounded return. I am one of them. I still hold HDFC Bank in physical shares. IPO में लिया था, अभी तक पड़ा है. Because I didn't trade, I have made 30% compounded return. Now, this is the beauty of investment. Trading easy लगता है, करना बहुत मुश्किल है. Investment lazy लगता है, करने में एकदम simple है.
Sir, यही मेरा question था next. Since independence, although BSE started in 1980, it took 40 years to open 4-5 crore Demat accounts. CDSL celebrating 4 crore, 5 crores Demat account, an active account of 3.5 crores. In last 2 years alone, I think we have opened more than 100% of the last 40 years we have done. And it's all trading, I think so. But at the same time, if I see crypto, I was reading a data of 10 crore. Crypto accounts. So, how do you see this asset class? Because a lot of clients ask, just obviously this is speculation, non-regulated, but your personal sense, you might be reading or meeting a lot of global investors. How do you think this asset class will change or course, or eventually this will die a slow death?
So, निर्मल भाई, एक चीज मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूं कि ये 10 करोड़ निवेशक का नंबर टोटली फ्रॉड है.
ऐसा
गारंटी के साथ मैं कहता हूं कि ये रिपोर्ट इसलिए बनाई गई है कि आपको और मुझे लगे कि बाकी सब लोग क्रिप्टो की गाड़ी में चढ़ गए और मैं रह गया.
Right.
Now we have to remember that these are all global conspiracies.
Yes.
Now, is there a scientific way to evaluate crypto? Answer is no. There is nothing underlying. How will you value crypto? It is a classical example of greater fool theory, that I believe someone will buy crypto at a higher price from me, and hence I have invested. There is one crypto which has grown from $8,000 to $5.7 billion in 400 days. ये किसी का मैंने ट्वीट पढ़ा है. Now, if making money was so easy कि $8,000 से आप $5.7 billion बन जाए, तो फिर कोई काम क्यों करेगा? सब लोग क्रिप्टो में ही इन्वेस्ट करेंगे.
Obviously, but why it is happening? Why government is not stopping all this? Celebrities are coming on the ads.
सेलिब्रिटी तो दारू की भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट करते हैं, टोबैको की भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट करते हैं. उसका मतलब ये तो नहीं कि मैं पान मसाला खाने लगूं, दारू पीने लगूं या सिगरेट फूकने लगूं. सेलिब्रिटी को आपके इंटरेस्ट में क्या इंटरेस्ट होगा? आपके माता पिता के सिवा there is no one who is interested in your well-being. If you believe Mr. X or Mr. Y, the superstar, is interested in your well-being, then you have to check your intelligence. So crypto is a very, very different asset class. There are many positives about it. There are many negatives about it. We don't know how to value crypto. That is our biggest limitation. There's nothing underlying. It is basically a trade whereby people believe it will continue to go higher and higher, and hence everyone is investing. But there are many pitfalls. One, safekeeping of crypto. Every day we hear someone lost crypto because his hard disk crashed, because his key was lost, or because the exchange itself disappeared. So please ensure that whatever crypto you buy is kept safely. Number two are transaction charges. When you trade in cryptos, you end up paying 20% in a round trip. Now today it doesn't matter because cryptos are going 100%, 1000%, 10,000% in a day, and 20% doesn't matter. But निर्मल भाई 20% अगर ट्रांजैक्शन चार्ज है तो आप कितना पैसा बना लेंगे?
सर इसमें कोई regulations नहीं है. यही तो that the question is, we are so regulated for everything, and why this government is whom should I blame otherwise? Why it's happening in India if it is not right?
See, again, if you see, is there a need for regulation on crypto? Answer is yes. And regulators will move in that direction when this becomes a sizable asset class.
When it will be too late. Okay.
See, regulators can't be moving in advance. They have to move in line.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that the investors always believe that their interest will be protected by regulators.
Right.
So Bank of England governor made a very nice comment that if you want to invest in crypto, please invest that much money, which if you lose, it will not impact you. So it's a high risk, high return gamble. लोग कसिनो में जाके खेला खेलते हैं, दिवाली की रात पे भी कई जगह पे लोग तीन पत्ती खेलते हैं. Please treat crypto as the same. Trade with that much money, which if you lose will not impact you.
Right, sir. Right, sir. So my question is to fixed income investors, like although Indians, especially North Indians that I meet, a lot of my clients love gold, and not even love gold, properties, definitely real estate. So there is a confusion. Say in the state of matter, if I'll say to invest for next 5-7 years more on financial assets. So what? Again, the conviction. What are the 5-7 ideas that you think? There was a big bang reform in the last 5 years. Because of that, might be definitely companies are doing well. Promoters are now very serious about business. So it makes sense to put overweight on financial assets rather than physical assets still, because everything is going good. So it's a state of confusion for a lot of HNI investors. Where I'm going to make a difference, and they are looking to advise on that, a decision-making process. So what do you think, sir? We should overweight on financial assets more for 5 years, and what are the pointers that can derive a strong conviction to them that boss, stay put in this?
So my feeling is that physical and financial both assets will do well.
Okay.
Real estate prices have remained stagnant or corrected over a period of time in most parts of India. Now, real estate is always location specific, but if we take a broad benchmark, over the last 5-7 years, real estate hasn't gone up. In fact, it has come down. So certain parts where city is shifting, that will do very well in real estate, whether it's residential or commercial. I'm more familiar with Bombay, less familiar with Delhi.
Whatever,
But in Bombay, if you had bought properties in Ballard Estate, Flora Fountain, Nariman Point, they haven't done as well. But if you had bought property in Bandra Kurla Complex or Lower Parel, where the city shifted, where there was better infrastructure, the property prices have gone up substantially. If you bought property in what was known as proper Mumbai, that is Churchgate, Churney Road, Marine Lines, and Grant Road and Bombay Central. Compared to that, if you had bought property in Bandra, Khar, Santa Cruz, Andheri, they have done very well because city shifted from proper Bombay to suburban Bombay. So wherever city is shifting, if you go and invest there in advance, you will make a lot of money. So in real estate, one can remain kind of equal weight, but in those locations where city is shifting, where infrastructure is developing. In terms of equity, our call is it's neutral weight. It's no longer cheap like as it was in April 20 to October 20. It's fairly valued. It's not expensive that you need to sell out despite current correction, but you need to be equal weight to equity.
Equal weight, okay.
Equal weight. In gold, we think you should be overweight.
Wow.
Now,
why gold looks overweight?
Why are we saying gold? Because one, gold generally does well when liquidity is high and interest rates are low. That kind of scenario will prevail in the days to come. Liquidity will remain excess, interest rates will remain soft despite rising marginally. Number two, the countries like China, Russia will like to diversify their reserves from dollar assets, yen assets to gold.
Gold assets.
US and China are on a collision course, and to keep $3.5 trillion in US dollar or other financial assets where US can influence, I'm sure China would like to diversify into gold. Number three, I think there is a reasonably good possibility that someone will monetize gold by launching cryptos backed by gold. Gold is universally acceptable as a storage of value, and crypto backed by gold will probably have more acceptability compared to other cryptos over a period of time. This may not happen today, tomorrow, next 6 months, 1 year, but over next 5 years, this can happen. Put all these things together, can gold deliver you better return than fixed income? Answer is quite likely.
Wow.
Now, when you are investing in gold, remember just one thing, that in India, gold carries 10% import duty. So what you buy for 100 is worth 110 in India.
Yes.
God forbid if gold duty becomes zero, you will lose 10% in one single day. So subject to that risk, one can invest in gold and be overweight there. And to the extent you are overweight gold, you will have to be underweight equity, underweight fixed income. Fixed income rates are rising. Most of the instruments will give you carry minus capital depreciation because of rising rates, and hence one can put more in gold and less in fixed income.
So sir, my question was, a lot of cash is piling up in fixed deposits still. Everyone is reading paper, media is so influencing. 150 lakh crore is piling in fixed deposits, and we are at the bottom end of interest rates. Equity at top end. So what is your answer to fixed income investors, who are heavily dependent on interest income alone? They should they should play on a fixed income on a credit risk funds, or do you think it makes sense because of better yielding returns, or any kind of risk you see, like in the past, in 2 years back, there was a bad story. So, what do you think in next 2-3 years, if I have to play a little bit, although we understand credit risk, but what is your answer to fixed income investors? Interest returns are almost diminished in ultra short-term categories.
So again, to all fixed income investors, I will recommend that please be open to taking some risk. Risk and return go hand in hand. And you can probably build a portfolio which gives you little extra risk compared to fixed income, but it also gives you little extra return to outperform inflation. If you are investing in bank deposits, they generally underperform inflation.
Yeah.
And especially the inflation which you and I suffer. See, we all like to live better lifestyle every year. So our inflation will be better or higher than the stated inflation. And hence, fixed income investment alone will not be sufficient. So I will say that you need to invest in hybrid funds, or you need to invest in hybrid assets. What are these hybrid assets? निर्मल भाई, आपने पिछले 2 सालों में देखा होगा कि स्टॉक मार्केट में अभी REITs InvITs लिस्ट हो रहे हैं.
Yes, sir, बिल्कुल.
And they are all capable of delivering higher single digit to lower double digit return. Now, unlike bank deposit, जिसमें आपको पता है आपकी जर्नी कैसे होगी, 100 का 105, 110, 115 कब होगा, REIT InvIT में वो पता नहीं चलेगा आपको. But if you invest with 5-7 year horizon, this REIT InvIT portfolio, not all individual REIT InvIT, but a portfolio of REIT and InvIT will deliver return between high single digit to double digit return with volatility. So please don't accept that ये ऊपर नीचे नहीं होंगे. ये 100% ऊपर नीचे होंगे. But if you stay invested and ignore that volatility, it can deliver far better return than fixed income.
That includes capital gains. See,
निर्मल भाई, रिटर्न तो रिटर्न होता है, कुछ इनकम में आए, कुछ गेन्स में आए. द सेकंड थिंग विल बी रिलेटेड टू हाइब्रिड फंड्स. पहले हम लोग उसे MIP के नाम से बुलाते थे, बट नाउ दे आर कॉल्ड डेट हाइब्रिड स्कीम. देन यू हैव इक्विटी सेविंग स्कीम्स, देन यू हैव बैलेंस एडवांटेज फंड, एंड देन यू हैव बैलेंस्ड फंड. So what I will recommend investors, that mentally you prepare this. If markets are negative and they are becoming cheap, so your returns are negative in equity and markets have become cheap, that is the time when you should be either in balanced fund, which gives you 70-80% exposure to equity, or large cap equity fund, which gives you 100% equity. When your portfolios are red and equity markets are cheap, like March, April, May, June, July, August, September 20, that's the time when you go into balanced fund or pure equity fund. Now, when markets are fairly priced, October 20 से लेके October 21, I will call it fairly priced. At that time, you should be invested into either balanced fund or balance advantage fund. So in a portfolio, when your equity returns are looking okay, try to reduce your risk by selling pure equity and moving into balance or balance advantage fund. And when markets have risen a lot, they have become expensive, your investment in equities are showing some crazy return, please move to equity saving schemes or hybrid debt hybrid scheme. So effectively, सस्ती मार्केट में 100% इक्विटी, महंगी मार्केट में 50% इक्विटी, एवरेज मार्केट में 50% इक्विटी, महंगी मार्केट में 10-15% इक्विटी. इस तरह से आप अलोकेशन चेंज करते रहे, you will generate better return than fixed income, albeit at slightly extra risk compared to fixed income. That way, an investor will stay ahead of inflation.
Sir, I think risk needs to be explained by everyone. What is risk? A lot of people misunderstood risk, so I think that plays a role. A very important.
So risk की एक बहुत interesting definition है. Risk is not knowing what you are doing. अगर मुझे मालूम है कि मैं 5 माले से जंप करता हूँ नीचे तो मेरी हड्डियां टूटेगी, and still I decide to jump, then it is not risk. मुझे तो मालूम था कि हड्डियां टूटेगी, मैं तो 5 माले से इसलिए कूदा कि हड्डियां टूटे. Now when you are investing in equity and you are prepared to take volatility, कि हाँ मार्केट ऊपर नीचे होएगा,
कभी
30% जाएगा, कभी 50% नीचे जाएगा. But if I stay invested over 10-year period, I will not lose my capital. This is based on historical evidence that in the last 30 years, at any point of time, 10-year returns have never been negative. So एक मुझे मालूम है कि मैं आज जंप करूंगा तो मुझे 10 साल तक रखना है in order to not lose capital. That's one. Now equity investment is no longer risk if you reconcile with this. Now second है कि obviously मैं 10 साल के लिए प्रिंसिपल के लिए तो रिटर्न इन्वेस्ट नहीं करूंगा. I need return on my principal also. That is where asset allocation comes. कि बहुत सस्ती मार्केट होगी तो मैं ओवरवेट हो जाऊंगा, बहुत महंगी मार्केट होगी तो मैं प्रॉफिट बुक करके अंडरवेट हो जाऊंगा, एवरेज मार्केट है तो मैं अपना निवेश चलाता रहूंगा. These two things combined, long-term investment and asset allocation, ensures that there is no risk in the market.
So what do you think about macro? Because a lot of traction is coming to global markets. Now, India is opening to invest in global. Kotak also came with Global Innovation Fund. There are a lot of companies which are not listed in India and they are definitely like semiconductors, nothing in India, marijuana based, or there are a lot of like Shopify, companies like Shopify. So if Indian equity markets, if the conviction is high, if I can get better returns, then why the reason, but HNIs are getting the traction. So what is your call in global markets? How do you see them? US Dow Jones already running highs, so how do you see them? Because end of the day, we are currency also hedged. We are currency risk hedged because we are losing our value every year. That's good, sir. So what do you think about the global? Because a lot of HNIs are interested to take ETFs and direct stocks, and a lot of apps are also there now available. And dollars in Indian rupee going abroad now in dollar form. What do you think about that, sir? In next 5-10 years, I think a lot of money will flow out.
So there are 3 reasons why one should invest in offshore assets.
Yeah.
First is that many of us want to send our kids abroad for study. Now, I don't want to face my daughter saying that बेटा अगर रुपये 75 to $1 है तो आपको मैं बाहर भेजूंगा स्टडी के लिए, बट गलती से 100 to $1 हो गया तो नहीं भेजूंगा. I need to provide for my kids' education, and if I have intention of sending them abroad, I need to create dollar assets, and that is created by investing offshore. Number 2, at HNI level or even at retail level, we all need diversification. You don't put all eggs in one basket. Now, we love India. We believe India will do extremely well in the years to come. But God forbid if there is a war with China or with Pakistan or with both. At that point of time, our markets will correct, but other markets may not correct. So by investing offshore, we create diversification from India risk. The third thing is that today, Nirmal bhai, you are a consumer of Netflix. You order goods on Amazon. You use MasterCard, Visa card to pay. but you are still a consumer. You are not part owner of those companies. Why should I not become a part owner of such companies where I am a consumer? And there are so many other businesses which are not available in India, as you mentioned. So in order to take exposure to companies where I am a consumer and they benefit from my spending, or such other businesses which are not available in India, I should be investing in offshore. Now, offshore में invest करते समय एक चीज का ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि we don't know offshore companies or countries as well, and most of us will be driven by what comes in media. Now imagine करिए आप बाहर के निवासी है and you invested in India. अप्रैल मई में आपको मीडिया में क्या दिखता है? यहाँ पे चिताएं जल रही है, लोग मर रहे हैं. You would panic and redeem from India. You will lose out the opportunity to make money. So
Right.
please remember that you need to invest in a diversified portfolio rather than just one country. Now US एक country कम continent ज्यादा है तो उसको हम अलग रखते हैं. बट कोई कहेगा कि मैं चाइना में चला जाऊं, रशिया में चला जाऊं, ब्राजील में चले जाऊं या आइलैंड में चले जाऊं, भाई उसकी जगह पे ग्लोबली डाइवर्सिफाइड पोर्टफोलियो में इन्वेस्ट करिए. एंड प्लीज इन्वेस्ट इन लार्ज कैप कंपनीज. सी ग्लोबली आल्सो स्मॉल एंड मिड कैप विल डू वेल, बट उसमें वॉलेटिलिटी भी उतनी ज्यादा होगी और हम वॉलेटिलिटी से डर जाएंगे बिकॉज अपने को उन कंपनीज के बारे में, कंट्रीज के बारे में कम नॉलेज है. सो बी डाइवर्सिफाइड, play for large cap.
That's a role of a fund manager to play. If we are giving it to good fund house or ETFs, it makes sense. So according to you, it must be a part of the geographical diversification of the portfolio.
Absolutely.
That we must invest in. Okay. Great. So great.
So there is one interesting question. There are a lot of asset classes coming in. So what is your take on alternative assets as an investment asset class? For HNIs, and what role should they play in one's portfolio?
So AIF as an instrument is no different from mutual fund. They give you exposure to credit risk, equities, real estate, and so on and so forth. So whether you are invested in mutual fund, PMS or AIF, you should go beyond the instrument into underlying assets. If you want equity exposure, choose whichever is the best mutual fund, AIF or PMS. If you want real estate exposure, please choose whichever is giving you the best option. And if you are investing in credit risk, then again choose whatever is the best available option. Many a times people end up investing assuming that mutual fund, PMS and AIFs are different things. No, they are all different routes leading you to your destination of creating value, creating wealth. So please choose that option which is good for you from a cost point of view and from a performance point of view.
But AIF, sir, categories, different categories lack transparency. It's difficult, because
so निर्मल भाई इसीलिए आपको इवेल्युएट करना पड़ेगा. मैंने कई ऐसे AIF देखे हैं जहाँ पे there was profit share कि हम 20% 2% फीस चार्ज करेंगे और 20% प्रॉफिट शेयर लेंगे. Now, this 220 for what? What kind of returns you are going to give me? Globally, 220 runs where there is a leverage and funds deliver better return.
Yeah.
So, लोगों ने blindly invest किया. All I am saying is that don't get lured by PMS or AIF or mutual fund. You have to see what is the cost and what is the value add.
True, sir. True. So there's a straight question, sir. If you remember, Howard Marks, mentioned once in his book, Mastering the Market Cycle, what wise man does in the beginning, the fools does in the end. So, in the last street, in the investment community, what is the wise man doing actually? So they are overweight, they're buying equities at this level. So what is your answer to it? What a wise man doing?
अगर आप देखें, most of the wise men, they respect market. They never believe that they are gurus of market. They are all students of market.
Brilliant, sir.
And एक कहावत है कि अभिमान तो राजा रावण का भी नहीं टिका था. उसकी तो लंका सोने की थी, भगवान शिव का उसके ऊपर आशीर्वाद था.
Yes.
अभिमान ने उसको गिरा दिया। तो स्टॉक मार्केट में आप कोई भी हो, आपको हमेशा मार्केट को रिस्पेक्ट देना पड़ेगा। मार्केट हम सबसे बड़ा है और हम हमेशा मार्केट के स्टूडेंट रहेंगे। जब तक आप में ये हम्बलनेस है, जब तक आपके दिमाग ओपन है, तब तक आपकी गाड़ी चलती रहेगी। जिस दिन आपको लगा कि मार्केट मेरी जूती के नीचे है, उस दिन आपका शीघ्र पतन हो ही जाएगा।
That's obvious. That's obvious. Okay. So wise man knows what to do at all times. Yes, got it, sir. But sir, if you see corporate India and banks, both are sitting in huge pile of cash, right? But capex is very slow. Credit offtake not it. Interest rate at lowest level. We don't listen. Credit offtake taking up and a lot of plants, industries. Except government spending is huge on infrastructure. That's why I was listening to Mr. Nitin Gadkari's view always when he spikes his underline rush when I listen to him about infrastructure thoughts. So that's why I was asking you that time. So what do you think? There is some worry there between in corporate segment why there is no credit offtake.
So again, जब capacity utilization is low, it's very difficult to increase capex, and for variety of reason, our capacity utilization was remaining below 70% in last 5 years.
Okay.
पहले क्या था कि जब आप ग्रीनफील्ड एक्सपेंशन करें तब कैपेसिटी बढ़ती थी। अब ऑटोमेशन की वजह से, प्रोडक्टिविटी की वजह से ब्राउनफील्ड एक्सपेंशन में काम हो रहा है। सो दैट्स व्हाई कैपेक्स डिडंट हैपन। सेकंड थिंग, हमारे दिमाग में ये है कि कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर मतलब नए प्लांट खड़े हो, नए बिल्डिंग खड़े हो। अब बहुत सारी कंपनीज ऑटोमेशन एंड सॉफ्टवेयर पे कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर कर रही है। वो हमें कैपिटल गुड्स कंपनी में नहीं दिखता, वो आईटी कंपनी में दिखता है। बट आईटी कंपनी को हम सर्विसेज काउंट करते हैं, जबकि दुनिया में 40 से 50% कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट आजकल आईटी, ऑटोमेशन और सॉफ्टवेयर में हो रहा है। बट अभी हमें लगता है कि कैपिटल गुड्स साइकिल, जो पुरानी डेफिनेशन थी इन्वेस्टमेंट की, वो चालू हो रही है। स्टील सेक्टर में आप देखिए, सब कंपनीज ने बोला हम एक्सपेंशन करेंगे कैपेसिटी का। सीमेंट में कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन हो रही है। शुगर में इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग की वजह से कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन हो रही है। ऑटोमोबाइल में भी कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन होगी जिस दिन चिप अवेलेबल चालू हो जाएगा। इलेक्ट्रिकल गुड्स हो, कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स हो, वहां पे कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन चालू हो जाएगी। और सबसे बड़ा कैपेक्स चालू होगा प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम के तहत। यहाँ पे बहुत सारी फॉरेन कंपनीज भी निवेश कर रही है, लोकल कंपनीज भी निवेश कर रही है। तो अब वी आर एट अ स्टेज वेयर कैपिटल गुड्स इन्वेस्टमेंट apart from technology and software will slowly start improving.
Brilliant. So if the high conviction bets on which sector, sir, means like 3-4 sectors, which is 3 years, 4 years can be a very fantastic idea or multi-bagger idea. In which sectors? Chemical is already played well. So 3-4 sectors, if I'll say string, very, very overweight on tech and not on pharma at all, because pharma has not been performing. So if I have to select 3 sectors only for next 3 years, what will be your right bet?
So you have to invest in good companies run by good managers,
not sectors. Okay.
See, if a bad manager and bad sector comes into your side, you will definitely lose money.
Right.
If a good manager and good business comes into play, you will always make money. So most important thing is that even in good sector, you invest with good managers.
Yeah.
Now,
you can't expect Bank of Maharashtra to become HDFC Bank, something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, sectorally अगर देखें तो capital goods I talked about, हमें लगता है कि यहाँ पे expenditure धीरे-धीरे बढ़ेगा and it will create good growth opportunity. दूसरी चीज है home improvement में, लोगों ने पिछले 2 सालों में अपने घर में उतना निवेश नहीं किया इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए। किसी ने फर्नीचर नहीं बदला, किसी ने कलर नहीं कराया, किसी ने पंखे, फ्रिज, एसी नहीं बदला। अब जैसे जैसे इकोनॉमी ओपन हो रही है, हम लोग वो खर्चा चालू कर दिए। तो ये सारी चीजों में जो होम को इम्प्रूव करती है, उसमें वॉल्यूम बढ़ेगा और मार्जिन बढ़ेगा। फिर चाहे वो पेंट्स कंपनी हो, टाइल्स कंपनी हो, केबल कंपनी हो, वायर कंपनी हो, सीमेंट कंपनी हो, प्लाईवुड कंपनी हो, होम फाइनेंशियर हो जो इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए फाइनेंसिंग करे या नए घर के लिए खरीदी के लिए पैसे दे, ये सारे रियल एस्टेट, कंस्ट्रक्शन, होम इम्प्रूवमेंट रिलेटेड सेक्टर में आगे अच्छा रहेगा.
Okay, sir, we are, I think, already 3:20. So one of my last question that I'm thinking, and the thoughts of John Bogle, that a lot of data in India highlights that a lot of fund managers are finding it hard to to outperform benchmarks. So do you think quant funds, AI, and driven this investing process can change the landscape in the future? So what is the reason? Because I think in our industry alone, there is a lack of it, except in everywhere, we see tech making a big difference in investing. So what is your thought? There is a fear that in 5 years, it's very difficult for fund managers to outperform index consistently.
So consistently outperform करना शायद मुश्किल होगा. And मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं कि आज 2017 में एक आईटी कंपनी थी, वो एनएससी मिड कैप में आ गई. जब वो आई तब 1% थी और 2017 में वो भाव इतना बढ़ गया कि वो 4% हो गई. अब उस समय हमने कॉल लिया कि हमें इस कंपनी में निवेश नहीं करना है, बिकॉज हमारे पैरामीटर्स में ये फिट नहीं थी.
राइट.
आज उस कंपनी का दाम अपने ऑल टाइम हाई लेवल से 90% नीचे है.
90% नीचे है.
So 2017 में मेरे सारे मिड कैप फंड्स अपने इंडेक्स को अंडर परफॉर्म कर रहे थे, बिकॉज हमने उस आईटी कंपनी में पैसा नहीं लगाया और वो 1% से 4% ऑफ इंडेक्स बन गई. उस साल इंडेक्स का जितना रिटर्न आया था उसमें 10% से ज्यादा तो सिर्फ इस स्टॉक ने दिया. नाउ अ क्रिटिक कैन से कि अरे कोटक म्यूचुअल फंड ने 1 साल तक अंडर परफॉर्म किया, बट दैट इज द पेन विच इज वर्थ हैविंग. लोगों ने मुझे पैसे इंडेक्स को रेप्लिकेट करने के लिए नहीं दिए हैं, लोगों ने मुझे पैसे इसलिए दिए हैं कि मैं इंडेक्स को आउट परफॉर्म कर सकूं.
Brilliant, yes.
और
yeah.
2018 में अगर आप देखते हैं तो वो कॉल सही गिरा और हम इंडेक्स को आउट परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. आज भी इंडेक्स में कई ऐसे स्टॉक है जहां पे हमें लगता है कि वैल्यूएशंस रीजनेबल नहीं है. लो फ्लोटिंग स्टॉक की वजह से, कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड होल्डिंग की वजह से कुछ भी भाव छप रहा है. ना आज नहीं तो कल ये स्टॉक्स गिरेंगे और फिर हम वापस आउट परफॉर्म करना चालू कर देंगे. हमारा मिड कैप फंड है, इसने पिछले 1 साल में इंडेक्स को तकरीबन 10% अंडर परफॉर्म किया है. 3 साल में इसने 5% आउट परफॉर्म किया है.
कंपाउंडिंग.
तो आपको यही देखना पड़ेगा कि ये अंडर परफॉर्मेंस क्यों आ रहा है.
I'm not talking about sir Kotak. What I'm talking about is the industry as a whole. That what do you think about quant funds, AI?
निर्मल भाई, मतलब मैं इस वक्त स्टॉक का नाम नहीं ले सकता, बट एक जो आउट परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स में आई है वो लो फ्लोटिंग स्टॉक, हाई वैल्यूएशन स्टॉक की वजह से आई है. पूरी म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री उस सेक्टर से दूर रही है. कुछ गिने चुने लोग को छोड़ दो. We have taken underperformance because we don't want to invest into those stocks, because वहां पे हमें नहीं लगता कि आने वाले 3 साल 5 साल में रिटर्न बनेगा. किसी भी दाम, मतलब चांदी में सोने के दाम पे नहीं खरीदूंगा, चांदी के दाम पे ही खरीदूंगा. फिर भले अंडर परफॉर्मेंस आए. It's far easier to explain underperformance than invest in those stocks and explain why did you invest in those stocks.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant answer. Great. So, sir, what is the last piece of advice? All these millennials who are doing it themselves, in a lot of apps these days. So, what is your answer to them? They themselves become trader or investors now in the last 2 years.
So, जो लोग ट्रेडिंग करते हैं उनके साथ मैं एक किस्सा शेयर करना चाहूंगा. जो ट्रेडिंग के विश्व पितामह कहा जा सकते हैं वो जेसी लिवरमोर थे. 1929 ग्रेट डिप्रेशन में जब पूरी न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के ब्रोकरों की, इन्वेस्टरों की बैंक बच गई थी, उस दिन वो बंदा आज की डेट में $1 बिलियन जितना प्रॉफिट हो उतना प्रॉफिट करके घर पे आया, बिकॉज ही वाज शॉर्ट.
माय गॉड.
तो जब पूरी दुनिया डूब गई तब ये बंदा बोला कि अपना तो $1 बिलियन का प्रॉफिट बन. ना इससे अच्छा ट्रेडर कहाँ आपको मिलेगा. बट एट द एंड ऑफ हिज करियर इट वाज एंडेड बिकॉज ही वाज इन लॉस एंड ही कमिटेड सुसाइड.
Oh.
तो ट्रेडिंग is like Donald Bregman. Final inning में zero पे ही out होंगे. So you have to be very, very cautious on trading. Last 18 months have been a cakewalk. Next 18, 36 months may not be like that.
Yeah.
Investment is very easy. Buy quality, stay invested, and think long term. उसमें पैसा अच्छा बनता है. Trading में 5 out of 100
I
will
think
make money.
all they need is a good coach. You know, I think everyone needs that. Everyone needs a coach. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We are running this campaign. Everyone needs a coach, and that's most important thing. You know,
Yes.
even most of us, even best of the batsmen needs a coach. So why not them? So that's great, sir. Krishna, any questions you have, you know, with Nilesh sir or anyone else, you know, because we are running short of time. It's only 3:30, and thank you, Nilesh sir, for sharing your thoughts, and we'll try to be in touch with next 2-3 months. We'll take insights from you regularly. And thanks to all the investors, those who have joined. And if you have any questions, you can write a mail to us and we'll forward it to Nilesh sir's team. And we get all the answers possible from his team and team of analysts. Sir, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining us, and happy Diwali to everyone.
Perfect.
Thank you, Nilesh sir. Thanks.
Thank you. Happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy
Thank you,
Diwali.
sir. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.